Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
In between the bucket baths, she just didn't shower.
Amberlynn did not shower the whole time we were at my mom's.
Hello, everybody. In today's video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on Amberlynn's new public live stream in which she responded to the collaboration video that Beck and Destiny did and them showing her terrible text messages from years ago and talking about their experiences. So also, she's been raging at Beck and Destiny on her Instagram. It's an amazing time to be alive. I feel like a girl of 2021 again. All right, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing my own opinions, not facts, and publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to their channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. The most interesting part of the live stream for me is what I want to talk about first. I understand this is not about per se Destiny and Beck, but I think you can appreciate this. All right, just stay with me here. So Amberlynn addresses something that Destiny says in her collab with Beck, where Destiny said that Amberlynn was constantly communicating right after her and Destiny broke up, right? Like constantly communicating with a married person, and she was involved with a married person. Amber gets asked about this on the live stream, and she says, you know, this person was in a very bad marriage, but you know, they're not in the marriage anymore, but and this is really important, Amber says, what I have gotten out of that situation is one of my lifelong friends. This person is one of my greatest friends now. And, you know, that's so there, you know, pretty much. Okay. Do you want me to prove to you that she's lying? Here we go. I want you to take a little trip with me down memory lane to the video called We Broke Up, when Wifey broke up with Amberlynn. At 9 minutes and I guess 39 seconds, Amber says, I need a shoulder to cry on, referencing her breakup, but I don't have anybody. And she basically says in this video that she doesn't have anybody to talk to about this breakup with Wifey, and she has no one. Now, why did I bring this up? Of course, Amberlynn is lying that this person who used to be married, that she used to have a thing with, is one of her greatest friends. Here's how you can tell. If this person was really, now remember, this person is from the Destiny era, so Amber was involved with this person in 2017-18. If this person and you were involved in 2017 and 18 when they were married, and now they are your greatest friend, why were they not your greatest friend when you broke up with Wifey? And there is just a fantastic example of how deeply this woman lies and how she has an excuse for every statement that gets asked. Amber, why do you constantly go for married people? Do you not understand that like this is just really a revolting exercise in nothing? Because that's what it is. And Amber's response is, but she became, or they became, or I don't know who the person is, they became my greatest friend. If only that were true. By the way, even if you did get a fantastic friendship out of it, it would be completely irrelevant because what you did was wrong, what they did was wrong. But that's not the point. Deeper than that, you're lying that they're your greatest friend. If they were your greatest friend, why did you say you don't have a single person to discuss your breakup with a few years ago? Because they are not your friend and they weren't back then. There, Amber, I fixed it for you. Your lies are showing. So Amberlynn, this is how you make your live streams. You focus the camera towards your ceiling or towards a random fixture in your house. You refuse to change your internet provider. You refuse to learn how to live stream after over a decade on YouTube. And you don't want to get a new MacBook. My opinion is she's having a problem with her Wi-Fi and she's streaming from that because she has a very old MacBook. She makes enough money to invest in a new computer, and she is live streaming like it's 1994. Love that for you, girl. All right, she starts off the live stream. Here's the thing. She went live numerous times and she keeps freezing. Like the live streams keep freezing. So she, you know, has to keep going back online. So there's like 3 different live streams. And she starts it off. The first 2 minutes, she reads out, I guess like it was a comment or a super chat about me. If you don't know, Amber thinks that she's shading me by calling me Katrina, putting a T in my name. I don't care about that. Amberlynn, you need to learn what shade is and how to throw it. That is not shade. You're way in the sun, okay? So, like, that's not shade. It doesn't hurt my feelings that you mispronounce my name and other times say my name correctly. And what the commenter said that she made sure to read out in the first 2 minutes of the video was that I must have been watching her. We know you're watching, Karina. So Amber went live in the middle of the night. I had no idea she had any plans to go live. I didn't even see her community page post about that. I just didn't know because I was asleep at night. I do many things at night, one of which is definitely not watch Amberlynn, but I'm glad that you spent your night raging and crying. All right, so here are just some of the things that she said about Destiny and Beck. And I should just give you a footnote and let you know that she spent the majority of the stream crying. Just in case you didn't see the stream, she was crying a lot. And she said that she's only been single from her current ex relationship with Tommy for just a few days. So all of those videos that she made, basically crying and pretending to cry that they were broken up, they were lies. That is really creepy to me, to lie to your audience that you were broken up in these videos and they were lies. They were still together. She was just putting on a show. I told you that it was fake, and it was. I knew she was still seeing somebody. So yeah, this whole time she was with Tommy, she wanted you to feel bad about a breakup that never happened. And you think that people should trust you after that? She completely fabricated her breakup with Tommy twice during during this past year. It's really weird. Okay, so she's crying over Tommy because Tommy finally dumped her. Here is what she says about Beck and Destiny exposing her. She says, I feel really alone and it's like all happening at once, but I definitely want to thank all the people supporting me in my DMs. And I'm just sitting here and thinking, how do you feel alone and you're so upset that it's happening at once if you have all this support? Do I think, like, there's always a discussion on the internet, oh my God, like, is there real support for her? I think that there is real genuine support for her, but she over exaggerates how much it is. And honestly, if she gets 100 people supporting her, that's not a lot of support. Just like if you have 100 people disliking you, that's not a lot of people disliking you. This is a math channel. So basically, somebody asks her, thoughts on Beck and Destiny's live. She says that it's odd behavior. But Amber, would you say that it was odd behavior for you bashing Beck for 4 years, blaming your cancer on Beck, saying that you got cancer because of Beck, trashing them, saying that they don't travel anywhere except for their sister's backyard, calling them a liar, humiliating them, embarrassing them for 4 years after they begged you to stop talking about them? I consider that weird and fan behavior. Okay, so she talks about how the messages that Beck and Destiny showed her from 9 years ago, you're doing the same. You're showing text messages from Beck from 2020. They may not be 9 years ago, but they're pretty old now. They're 5 years old. Why is it okay for you to show messages from the past, but it's not okay for them? And Amber always does this, right? So Amber's whole point in responding to Destiny and Beck is to say,
Lynn did not shower the whole time.
well, they're showing old messages, so it doesn't mean anything. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll do you one better. Let's talk about Amberlynn these few past months, because the last few months, this has nothing to do with 9 years ago, systematically misleading, maliciously lying to her audience that her and Tommy broke up when she said that they just broke up a few days ago. Can you please explain to me how that behavior was all right to lie to your audience? How was behavior with you and wifey okay when you lied and said that you were dating two totally different women for 2+ years and then admitted that you lied? So basically, you're like a pathological deceiver and just recently lied about you not being in a relationship. Like, my God, she was fake crying in all these videos. That's creepy. So let's talk about that. I agree. Why are we going to talk about 9-year-old messages? Let's talk about how you lied a few months ago, how you lied 2 years ago. All right. So then she actually mentions Dana and says Dana is such a good person. That's the woman that Destiny left her for. And she says, I'm kind of happy that, pretty much Destiny cheated on me with Dana because she's such an amazing person. You admitted what was going on between you and Dana in private messages, and you gave her clothes despite that. Like, this is a person that came between you and your partner. Make it make sense, Pookie. Can I call you Pookie, Ambi? Okay, so then she says something about Destiny, which is classic rudimentary manipulation. She says that Destiny cheated on her and she, quote, kept that. And people were like, yeah, Destiny cheated on you. And she told them, no, she didn't. Amber, did you mean to say the word kept or did you mean to say the word lied? See, Follow me here, okay? This is classic manipulation of language. She wants the cheating that Destiny did to her. Oh, I kept it all inside me. You lied about it for years, even though it was blatant and obvious. Do not manipulate language and gaslight your audience by saying the word, oh, I kept that to myself. You mean you lied about it for years, because she did. She admits here that she lied about it, only she uses the word kept instead of lie. I see you. I see your manipulation, Ambi. She then accuses Beck of being the biggest manipulator, one of the biggest manipulators she's ever met. And she is saying that other people that have known Beck feel this way. And when she compares Destiny, this one is important, to Beck, she says, Destiny is just sharing her opinions and feelings, but Beck is trying to make it like really, really bad. I'm not going to use the word that she used it for Beck. Okay. So first of all, there's two things going on here, in my opinion. She is still in love with Destiny. If you don't know, there was only one human being that she was ever in love with other than herself, and that is Destiny. She was genuinely heartbroken for real when Destiny left her, and Destiny, I will forever believe this, is the one that got away. Let me get this straight. Destiny trashed you and revealed all your tea, and she's just expressing her feelings. That's what she genuinely says. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she genuinely said during the live stream. But Beck is not expressing their feelings, so clear proof that she's still in love with Destiny. Destiny can do no wrong, the one that got away. As far as you saying that Beck is a manipulator, listen, I think that all of us can make mistakes, all right? I don't see that Beck is a manipulator at all. And I just wanted to say, in my personal interactions with Beck, they have been nothing but really clear and direct. I just wanted to say that. Like, if anybody is wondering, in my interactions with Beck, they've been beyond clear, beyond honest, and beyond direct. Beck is not manipulating anything. You manipulated them into being your free caretaker for 5 years. How about you take some accountability and show some respect? Oh, that's right. You can't. All the social media posts about Beck and Destiny. Here's what she said about Beck and Destiny, right? On Instagram. Gonna respond to Destiny and Beck. Said because they were like talking about you in the live. There was zero of that going on. 9-year-old text of me being hurt isn't that. Okay. So the main thing I want to say about this is so phenomenal, as I've said before. Amberlynn Reid showed text messages from 5 years ago, from 2020, to discredit Beck. But when Beck and Destiny do the same thing about Amber and to Amber, it's somehow old text. So it's okay for Amberlynn to show text messages from 2020 about Beck and from Beck. But if Beck shows text messages and Destiny shows text messages from 9 years ago, it's somehow different. Text messages that Destiny and Beck have prove how you treat people in private. The text messages that you're showing about Beck already stipulated to. They've admitted to everything. Whereas you pretend you don't act that way in private. Therefore, their text messages are exposés while yours are just announcements. You're just repeating something that has been stipulated. Okay. Then we have, what do you think of Beck saying they're collabing with Destiny? I'm so sorry, girl. Literally don't care. They're so money hungry. Can't get views unless they talk about me. Sad, really. You can't get views unless you just lie to your audience every January. You can't get views. You could not get views without Destiny in the Lavatory, without showcasing every horrible tragedy that befell Beck. Like, you get views on YouTube just like they do. You have a lot of content talking about other people that you've monetized. You are no different than them. You owe Beck money for the live streams that you didn't give them the money for that. And of course, for the inheritance from their mother that you stole. If they recoup that money by talking about you, it's sad that you won't pay them, but at least they'll recoup the money. Beck's and Destiny's video just shows that they sucked as partners, and people, LMAO, didn't help them. No one is perfect, but the more they shared, the more I realized I was being used. You used Beck to drive you around, get you food, wash your dirty rags, wipe you in the lavatory. You used Destiny to take you doing everything. What was it that you said, Amber, to Destiny? Oh, Destiny, I know you're with Dana and everything, but how am I supposed to eat in peace and walk around in Target? You demanded that Destiny literally take you to do your errands on the weekends, even though she was already living and in a serious relationship with someone else. Please explain to me. Like, I would love it for you to explain to me. like how you were used. Here's a little question about Alexis. Do you think Alexis wants revenge, or do you think she just wants clout? Both, but mostly both. But mostly revenge. Yeah, like you don't want revenge on every single person that's spoken about you and to you. I want to make this really, really clear. Every single time she strikes a reaction channel or threatens them to, I hope you understand that it is definitely not about the content that she believes they're stealing. She's doing that because she's angry that they dare express their opinion. And the only way to try to get to them is to hurt their income. Well, wait until somebody sues you. That'll hurt your income. Stop taking the high road. Take the alley and expose them just the way they have you. I get that's what a lot of people want me to do, but I genuinely would not be happy with myself if I did that. You already did. You posted on Instagram a bunch of private information about Beck. Some of it was already known, some of it was not known, and you already did. Is it not exhausting to believe you're never the problem? Oh, I've never been the problem. If you think I'm saying I haven't, you aren't hearing me at all. The funny thing about this whole situation is that Amber continuously wants to take responsibility in her mind for two things: being controlling and manipulative, right, over Beck and hovering over their time, but doesn't want to take responsibility for anything else and blames everything on Beck. When you take responsibility, you're not supposed to say, I did this, but they did that. That's not how it works. How do you have the restraint to not reveal all the tea you have on your exes? Because I know for a fact that I will feel a lot worse doing that than not doing it. She doesn't have any more other than what she's revealed about Beck. She doesn't have it. You understand? Some people make mistakes, and other people just are hiding a lot. Amber's that other person that's hiding a lot of bad behavior. We all have our I just don't think it's right to put people on blast like that. You already put them on blast. You put them on blast when they were picking out their mother's headstone, and you were sitting on a TikTok in their car and making inappropriate TikToks, laughing about certain types of movies. You put them on blast when you told them, you know what, Beck, you better get down in the pool. Don't get up. You put them on blast by debasing, degrading, and humiliating them privately and in public. Why is it that they needed to help you in the lavatory and you made fun of them publicly? What happened in private and was revealed? I don't want to read the rest of this. Who cares? This is so sad because she actually thinks that she's right in these situations. There's another like question that basically says something like, oh, well, if you put like everyone's like information out there and ask their exes, like if you ask like everybody's ex, then everybody would say negative things about their exes. Oh, I have no doubt that people have negative things to say about their exes. The difference is they did not torment their exes in private and then lie about it in public like you did, Amber. All right, let's get back to the other amazing, illustrious things that Amber said in her live stream. Before we get started about what Amber said about Alexis, I just want to say this. No one cares about what happened between you and Alexis. She's not a person in girl world that I feel that people are going to just like be obsessed with, and whatever happened between you and Alexis, Amber, nobody really cares about. I think what's happening in the situation is that Amber is very angry and feels betrayed and just upset that no matter what no matter what she says about Alexis, none of us care. She thinks if she keeps pushing the envelope, like this is something that happened already in the past. The time to be interested in Alexis and Amber drama had already passed. So I will talk about it simply because Amber talked about it. But Amber wants a reaction from the audience, from the majority of the audience, in my opinion, that just isn't there. And once I tell you what she said in her live stream, it may be a little bit surprising. It may not be, but I personally don't care. And I know that the majority of the community doesn't care. Amber, people only care about what happened between you and your exes and how you are behind the scenes. You exposing, maybe this will make it clear. Amberlynn exposing other people isn't exciting at all because ultimately, in my opinion, and y'all let me know like what you think, although girl world is always interested in drama, they just don't care as much about Amber exposing others. And she will never understand this. And I know that she doesn't understand this because she keeps thinking and keeps saying and keeps doing and keeps thinking that if she just exposes an extra layer of OMG about somebody, something will change. So she says that Alexis's entire channel is about Amber. Alexis has always wanted her and just mad that she didn't get her. that when she first moved to Oklahoma, she was leading on Alexis, and Alexis was like, oh, like, let me come down there and whatever. And then she drops this bit of information that nobody cares about. And they were having this conversation on the phone that was interesting. And I still don't care. I'm not interested in exploring that topic further. And I think that it's sad that you think that once you reveal that, everyone's going to have a come to whatever moment. Like, no one's going to care, Amber, that you and Alexis were in some way like involved with each other, because it's obvious that you both, I'm sorry, both had a situation type nightmare going on. So that's the tea about Alexis. I personally don't care. Her channel is about talking about a public figure. The thing is, and I'm just not being biased here, I'm just looking at it from a logical perspective of what I've seen. A lot of people in girl world do not care for this whole drama at all and don't want to be bothered with it. So I know that you think that you did something there, Ambi. Can I call you Pookie? But you did not. I don't care that you and Alexis had a phone conversation. How exciting. She then gets asked why she doesn't go into inpatient. It is common sense that inpatient would save her life. She was recently asked this question, and this is important. She was asked this question in a recent live stream. She literally said that she's not doing this because it's very restrictive and highly implied that, they're going to tell you what to eat and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the point. She gets asked this question again, and she says, because I have bills to pay, I'm not in a situation where I could stop paying my bills. Stop it with your ridiculous excuses. First of all, she could have, should have clearly done this a long time ago when each one of her videos was getting 100,000 views. But she can still do it now. All she can do is this. This is very simple. She already is a pro at pre-recording. Pre-record extra content. Okay, start working every day. Yes, like a lot of us. Honest Lynn, start working every day, pre-record 4 to 5 videos a day, and you will have a bunch of videos to post later. Explain the situation to people. You can totally schedule out these videos while you are an inpatient. And what I would do in her situation is, because I know, like, if that was brought up to her, she would say something like, well, how am I supposed to supplement my income now? And how will I make my income now? What I would do in that situation is I would do live streams instead of videos now to make money now, and spend my days pre-recording content for when I'm an inpatient. The bottom line is she doesn't want to go to inpatient because she doesn't want someone telling her what to do. She wants to clearly do what she wants to do. And instead of just saying that and moving on, you need to say some nonsense about bills. She then talks about reaction channels and says that reaction channels are certain words that I'm not going to repeat here, but that they're very bad and that they have no critical thinking. You're just angry that the majority of reaction channels can see right through your manipulation. Like I did earlier when she said that she kept that quote, I kept that Destiny cheated on me, instead of saying that you lied about it for years. When you say you kept it instead of you lied about it, that is a form of manipulation. You're trying to appear as the victim when you lied and defended her for years. Yes, it hurt you that she cheated on you, but why do you need to use such manipulative language to raise yourself up and to make yourself someone that you're not? This is manipulative language. The reason that I suspect that she dislikes reaction channels, obviously it's because of the money that they're making. For example, she even says that she would sue Salty Crab if she had to. I'd love to see you try. You have absolutely no idea, Amberlynn, what a lawsuit entails, how much money you need for a lawsuit, and how it can go on. I don't want to say forever, but it can definitely go on for a very large, indeterminate amount of time. You're going to sue Salty Crab? Good luck. The point is, she's upset that people see through her nonsense and have large audiences that they can talk about it with. Then says that she would leave YouTube when somebody asks her about it, as well as she highly implies that Beck is a grifter. She implies it. She does this whole situation type nightmare where she does this like very performative situation type nightmare where she Googles what the word means, pretending that she doesn't know. She knows what a grifter is. She tries to pretend that Beck is a grifter. You literally are the definition of a grifter. Like if I could say like who I think is grifting, let's see. You had Casey's family support you. You manipulated and mistreated Casey. You did the same thing to Crystal and her parents. Her parents supported you. And then Destiny supported you for a very, very, very long time until you started working. And Beck is a grifter, right? She then says just very inappropriate things about Destiny. The things that, in my opinion, led Destiny to start exposing her. Remember, like we talked about in the summer of 2021, Amber said very superficial and inappropriate things about Destiny. She says these things again. Amber, we know you're in love with her, and she says she would never be with her. We know you're in love with her. We know. I can tell that she feels for Destiny, and Destiny is the one that got away for her just from the way that she behaves. She thinks that she's hiding it with cruel words about Destiny, but she's not. She then somebody asks her this question, and this is a great example of how Amber never takes responsibility. So somebody says to her, you know, you emotionally cheated on Beck with Destiny. And she says, yes, but at least I admitted it. Beck was in love with their ex and didn't say anything. Okay, so let's pretend that this is true, and maybe it is true. The difference is that when confronted, Beck says, whenever I've seen Beck confronted with anything, Beck says, I did do this, you know, I was wrong, I'm gonna do better, and that's it. You say, I did this, but this other person did this too. So you absolve yourself ASAP of whatever you did because you want to take no accountability. It is not taking any accountability by saying, yes, I did this, but this other person did it too. She also gets asked, what ex would you get back with? And she says, well, she gets asked, would you get back with an ex? She says, yes. I believe she's only talking about wifey. So since it is my opinion that she's talking about wifey, the idea that Amber would ever believe that wifey would ever get back with her is so wild to me. Like, this woman didn't want to be on camera and has still not come out and exposed you because, in my opinion, she wants to move on. It's so obvious that she has never moved on from Destiny and from wifey. All right, thoughts, comments, questions on this amazing live stream, please let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.